Hey Pack. So me and my family are still on a Encanto watching marathon.
Welcome to family Madrigals.
Okay, maybe it's just my oldest daughter and myself, but still, we're watching it almost every day, and it's great. By now, I'm sure everybody knows who each of the Madrigals are and what their abilities are, as well as some speculations on different Madrigal families.
There's so many people. How do you keep them all straight?
But what I wanted to go over was why each Madrigal has the gift that they have. I believe the Casita knowingly gave each Madrigal a different gift to correspond with the time in both the Madrigal family's life and the village as a whole, or the Encanto as a whole. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So there are 8 Madrigals, each with their own unique gift. We have Julieta, Pepa, Bruno, Isabella, Dolores, Luisa, Camilo, and finally Antonio. Obviously we also have Mirabel and we have Abuela, but both of them don't have a gift, so we're going to go ahead and leave them out of this conversation here. I believe that each of them received a unique gift to them that would help the village and the family as a whole grow and develop. To start, we have the triplets, Julieta, Pepa, and Bruno, who were each given a special gift that would help the village progress and develop at the infancy of the village. We know that the early days of Encanto take place during the 1,000-day war that happens down in Colombia. And so we can see the Madrigals and their village fleeing from the soldiers, who are the ones that kill Pedro, causing the miracle to take place. Shortly after that, about 4 to 5 years after that, we have at the 5th birthday, each of the Madrigal triplets get their gift. And they are gifted with Julieta getting the ability to cure people through food. We have Pepa, who is able to control the weather via her mood. And we have Bruno, who is able to see into the future. And I think that these are key gifts that were given to them by the Casita to help prepare and help start the village Encanto. Julieta's gift would be the same as a village doctor. She'd be able to handle anybody's injuries or any medical concerns that come forward from the village. This would have been very important as they had just started the village only a few years prior. They had been on the run during a war. They could easily have had injured individuals or those who had been hurt with starting the village or on their flee from their old village. So Julieta's gift here allows them to seek aid in any of their ailments that existed. Pepa's gift would allow the controlling of the weather, obviously. And this would be great for 2 reasons. Both now that it's been about 4 years since the Encanto was created and they've been able to assess their surroundings, the village may have started to put down roots in this area. We know that by the time the triplets have hit 5, the 1,000-day war is over. It's been about 2 years since the war was over, which means that now the village can start calming down and not expect soldiers to be invading the Encanto. And they might start building solid structures requiring construction of some sort. And so just having the ability to control the weather and make sure that the rain doesn't happen during the times where you don't want rain during your construction site, or to ensure that your crops that you might be growing to help feed your village grow appropriately. You might control the rain over there. You might stop any hurricanes from coming into the Encanto. Just Pepa's gift would ensure them the ability to grow without the weather negatively impacting them. Bruno's gift would be the gift of assurity, the ability to see into the future and know that everything is going to be okay. They're now in a new village, a new area. It's been 5 years since they fled, from the 4 to 5 years since they fled their village, and now they need to know what's going to come up, what is about to happen. And Bruno would be able to look into the future and reassure people that everything's going to be okay. The Encanto is going to survive. They will not get invaded today. They will not get invaded tomorrow. And they'd be able to thrive as a village. As the village grew over the next 10 to 20 years, Bruno's gift wouldn't be as important. They wouldn't be so as concerned about, is a soldier, a troop of soldiers going to be coming in and invading us? They'd be more interested in things like, who am I going to marry, and where am I going to live, or what am I going to do, or how about my pet goldfish? And instead, they're no longer focused on the village, but they've started selfishly using his gift, which is why he starts to become more of an outcast than the others. And then we get into the next generation, or the third generation of the Madrigals, starting with the oldest, Isabella. Isabella's gift comes 29 years after the triplets all got their gifts. And Isabella's is very different from her mother's, her aunt's, and her uncle's gift. Her gift is the ability to grow plants and flowers, which at one point can seem, the ability to help with farming and the ability to help with produce, but she focuses mostly on flowers at the beginning. But even once she's fully realized her gift after talking with Mirabel, she grows cactus, she grows vines, and all of these other more exotic plants. And I think that this gift was given to her by the Casita to help the Madrigals and the Encanto at large realize that they can take a breath. They can enjoy the beauty around them, the colors of the landscape around them, and they can finally let down their guard just a little bit and enjoy life. Then we have Dolores, again born just a few months after Isabella, and her gift is the gift of being able to hear things at a distance. And so again, this is more of a gift of a surety, kind of like Bruno's was, where the Encanto, the village, doesn't have to worry about will they get invaded, because they have somebody who can hear everything that goes on in the Encanto, and potentially outside of the Encanto, she would be able to hear if a approaching army was coming, or if there was somebody new trying to invade the Encanto and blend in. She'd be able to hear and distinguish that person as different from the rest of the Encanto. She would be the watchtower, the sentry for the Encanto. With this added security, it would allow the village to let down their guard even further and enjoy life instead of being worried about where the next attack is going to come from or if they're going to have to flee. Luisa's gift of strength would allow the village the extra support it needs in order to be self-sustaining. They would no longer have to worry about maintaining the houses that have now been up for 30 plus years and making sure that, if a new house needs to be built or a church needs to be moved or a bridge needs to be built, will they have the manpower for it, or will they have to go out and venture into the world? They'd be able to be self-sustaining because Luisa would be able to help with these kind of tasks. She would be able to lend that extra little bit of muscle that would be needed for these larger tasks. Unfortunately, her gift is abused more than any of the others. But I think the intent here is, again, being self-sustaining. The village is fine where it is. The village is fine with the people that are here. They don't have to worry about trusting outsiders that they can sustain as just them, as one big family or one large village. Camilo's gift, the ability to shape change, is again more of what Luisa and Isabella's gift are. But it's different in that it allows the village to know that they can finally break the mold that they've been fulfilling. So those who have had to build houses, those that have had to help build roads, those that have had to farm or become agriculturally adept, can now finally seek what they truly want, their passions. And Camilo grants this by being a shapeshifter. He allows people to see that you aren't stuck being what you have been the last 30 years. You aren't stuck being what you have been the last 35, 40 years after you came to the Encanto. Instead, you can now be whatever you want to be. And Camilo is just the embodiment of this. This is the Casita. This is the miracle now telling the village and the family, you no longer have to meet these roles. These roles, these gifts that were given to you are to help the village, but you aren't stuck being this person. You aren't stuck in this way of life anymore. You can now be who you want to be. And it's a physical embodiment of that through Camilo. Camilo allows people to see that they can transform themselves into whatever they want to be. And finally, we have Antonio's gift, given 10 years after Camilo's gift, and a full 45 years after the first gifts were given to the triplets. Antonio's gift is a special one. This is the first gift that doesn't seem to have a purpose, a thing that helps the rest of the village.
I'm sure today we'll find a way to put your blessings to good use.
He was given the ability to talk to animals. And we can see this with his conversations with Mirabel, even before the door ceremony, that he's always been an animal-loving individual. It isn't a functional gift like Luisa's or Julieta's gift. It isn't a reassuring gift like Bruno's or Dolores's. It isn't even a relaxation gift like Isabella's or Camilo's gift might be, where they can start breaking out of their mold. Instead, his gift is about building relationships. He's always really been fond of animals. He's always enjoyed animals, and now he's able to talk to them. He's able to communicate with these animals and build a relationship with these animals and build trust with these animals because they understand him and he understands them. And I think this gift is where the casita is finally telling the family and the village at large it's okay to take the next step. Build relationships. Start to enjoy relationships and communications with other people and bring the village to a stronger union by building these relationships. Don't be afraid to talk to others, build relationships, communicate with others. And this is extremely important for the Madrigal family that hasn't been communicating. They've had all of these cracks and pressures, but now the casita is saying it's time. Use your words, communicate with others, build a stronger Encanto. Thank you, Pack. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have really been enjoying the Encanto movies, and I've always been a big fan of the Disney movies in general. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. And what do you think about this? Do you think that the gifts were given to specific people for a specific reason? Do you think anybody should have gotten a different gift? If so, leave it down in the comments below, and I will see you all next week. Stay stealthy, Pack.